Hey friends, Mike here from the Retail Leadership Lab, and it's autopsy time. It's time now, 2 weeks removed from my most recent run in the Chicago Marathon, to deconstruct what went well and what didn't. And so first and foremost, like what didn't, full transparency and vulnerability, like it was the slowest full marathon I've ever ran. It was the slowest full marathon that I've ever ran by over 15 minutes. In addition to that, like it was over 2 full hours slower than my PR. It was over 90 minutes slower than my PR in that race at Chicago just a few years prior. So a lot went wrong. Things are going pretty well through about 13 miles, and then they really started to go downhill from there. At 13 miles, at the half marathon point, like I felt great, like did a total body check, and that's where I saw my wife. She handed me a diet Pepsi. She squealed. She made me feel great. Like going into it, I thought, okay, like I'm gonna be able to kick off these miles on the back half. And then about a mile and a half after that, like things started to come apart again. So like her words got me through the next mile and a half. And then for the first time in my running career, I started to contemplate a DNF. I started to think about like, maybe I'm just not gonna finish. And like the little voice in my head started to tell me all kinds of stuff. Like, you've already ran a half marathon, you're over 50 years old, you've ran dozens of marathons. Like, why are you out here? Why are you doing this? And then in that same moment, like we're now at like mile 15, 16, somewhere in there, I get a text from a mentor that simply says like, hey, nobody is better at suffering than you. Finish this effing thing. And as it turned out, like he's a marathoner as well, so like he could see that my times were getting slower and slower and slower in the online tracker, but his words carried me through the next handful of miles. Then I saw my wife again, and she's like, hey, here is a like fresh headband, like here's a diet Pepsi. Like, so the message here is that words matter, like words of encouragement matter. So go out there today, and like you have the ability to make an impact on somebody else's life, on somebody else's big achievement, whatever that thing is. Your words of encouragement can go a long way. And you know this. Somebody in your life has done this for you at some point. Part of why my wife shows up amazing is she's just an awesome human being. But she's also a marathon runner, and she had a race several years back where her toenail started to separate from her foot and dig into her foot for the last 5 miles, like a knife digging into her foot, soaked her entire shoe in blood. She was ready to tap out, get on the slow bus, as we like to say, but she didn't, because in that moment, she got a text from her kids. You're doing it, Mom, you're doing it. And there was no way she was going to let her kids down, right? So like your words of encouragement, you don't know how timely they are. So the best thing to do is just assume that words matter, and assume that you have the ability to do something special for somebody by just encouraging them in the midst of their struggle. You personally have the ability to make an impact. Go do it.